Welcome back to the Red Devil Addicts. I am back in Melbourne. That's right, you heard me. I am back in Melbourne. So me and Alex are in the same time zone, though we're from different cities, Melbourne, and he's up in the best part of Australia, which is the Gold Coast. Well, he's close to the Gold Coast. He's in Brisbane, but close enough to the Gold Coast. And our chief sports editor, Mr. Darren, is back in London. Well, you're in London now,
No,
Darren, or you?
no,
Where
I'm
you?
down in Cornwall, down
Oh, you're
southwest.
in Cornwall. That's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Have you met the Duchess of Cornwall yet?
Not yet, no. Still my bucket list.
Well, sorry, guys. Look. First of all, I wanted to apologize to all the viewers out there. I know I've been really bad at putting up videos this last 3 weeks. And that's that's literally my fault, is because I'm actually on a project, and it's taken up most of my time. So whenever we finish the show, I get some time to do the show, or just they haven't done the editing and put it on. That's why we need more subscribers so we can do the show live. It automatically gets uploaded and we don't have to wait a time. So guys, please tell your friends, friends, your friends' girlfriends, your wives, everyone, to please subscribe to the Red Devil Addicts on our YouTube channel, so that we can bring you live. Because we've been at one point, guys. Remember last week when we were doing the Man City, we were in different continents. Yeah, Darren was up in Europe, well, in England, but not close to Europe, right? Uh, and Alex was down under. He was basically in Australia, and me and Mervyn, and of course, yeah, Jurgen was in Australia as well. He was in Melbourne, and I was in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur, the capital city of Malaysia, and Mervyn was in Malaysia, but in another city called Malacca. So we were literally global. We are global. That's the beautiful part about the Red Devil Addicts channel. Yeah, we are global, and I got to apologize that you guys have not been getting a lot of content. Don't worry. After this, I promise you, every single content that gets done, it will get uploaded straight away. I'm just at the tail end of my project. I've got one more month to go, and once I've got all these videos up, I'm thinking next week. Next week I will have some time because I'm actually flying to Sydney tomorrow. I'm going to be in another state tomorrow. So when I do the show on wee hours of Friday, before the next match, I'm going to be in Sydney. So I'm going to be doing the show in Sydney. So I'm literally traveling everywhere. So, guys, please bear with me. Once I'm back in Melbourne next week, Tuesday, I will start putting up all the content one by one, wherever you guys have missed out. And then from there on, we're going to be able to do it after every game, and so that the content is sort of refreshed. And yes, Darren is actually right. I think he did say it in our chat, but he also put it out there that I've got a big announcement to make. It's going to be quite interesting. I tell you what, I'll leave that big announcement to its the tail end of the show. I shall keep you guys all waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. But it's a happy day for me, Alex, and Darren today, because that's it. Manchester United have won the game. It's the 5th Premier League game, and they've won it. They've won the 5th Premier League game. Well, they've played 8 games now, but they've won 5 of them, which is fantastic. That's 15 points, yeah? And we've got a game in hand. So that loss against City is manageable, because if we win that game in hand, we're only about 6 points away from them. Is that correct, Darren?
Yeah, we'll be 6 points behind, and Arsenal as well.
And Arsenal as well. That's right. So as long as we keep winning and we keep beating teams, that's going to keep the pressure up there. And as we get into some parts of the season after the World Cup, as you know that the World Cup is just around the corner. It's coming very quickly. We're literally 1 month away. from the first game, the World Cup. Alex, I know Alex told me that he's going to be there supporting his fellow Australians, playing in what I call the group of death again. They're literally going to meet the same two teams in the group. Yeah, Alex. So this time they'll be going up against Rafael Varane, our boy, and of course Christian Eriksen as well, our Man United boys. So we've got to support our Man United boys in it. Unfortunately, we don't have any Australian players. The last Australian player to play for Manchester United was Mark Bosnich. So, but we will be out there. It's going to be a lot of great football. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff anyway. But I want to get into this particular game that we all witnessed this morning, and we are all still buzzing, even though we scraped through. There's a lot of talking points that I want to make, and also Darren has got some valid points. We were chatting about it this afternoon. Excuse me, and we want to go through it and get into it, and still celebrate the fact that we won the game. Yay! And you know what's the best? You know what made the morning even better? I'm not a big. No, I hate Arsenal as well, but I hate Liverpool even more. That's with a passion, yeah. And the fact that they lost 3-2, that made the morning even better. I tell you guys, I was just when I saw the scoreline just before United kicked off. I tell you, I was so happy, and I said, okay, let's just hold the horses in, not say anything. Let's go out and win the game today, and see what happens. Anyway, guys, welcome again. I'm telling you, I'm back in my studio, so a big welcome back, Joel. A pat on the back, and we are now ready to rock and roll about United's victory against Everton. Now, we've got some talking points in it. I think one of the main stories, guys, was the changes that were made by Ten Hag. He opted to go with Luke Shaw at left back, which turned out to be a good choice. I think he did really, really well. He kept a lot of pace going forward. He kept it tight from a defensive perspective, which was fantastic. And of course, he didn't want to rush Rafael Varane back into the team, so he played Victor Lindelof, and of course Martinez, Mr. Alex, favorite player, and also of course Diego Dallo. And he opted to go and give the first starting to Casemiro, and I think Casemiro grew into the game. There was a couple of moments that were quite nervy. The pace, as we all said, he was playing in Spain. It's a very different league altogether. But I think he will grow into it. And well, it was his pass that it was his win back after he had lost the ball that put Cristiano Ronaldo through, his fellow teammate in Real Madrid. And Cristiano Ronaldo couldn't miss it. I was so happy for him. We're all a big fan of our very own Cristiano Ronaldo, because for him to score 700 career goals, after last week, everyone was talking about how Haaland is going to chase him down, this and that. The two different players. Cristiano Ronaldo is not an out-and-out striker, right? He is a midfielder who then transitioned into an out-and-out striker, which he's doing now, which hasn't been his best suit, but a man from midfield scoring 700 goals. Now you tell me that you can't compare that to Erling Haaland, because Haaland his absolute job is to score goals. That's why he's an out-and-out striker. So I don't think personally there should be a comparison in that factor. But I would say Christian Eriksen and of course Bruno Fernandes retained his spot in midfield with Casemiro sitting at back, and he moved Rashford onto the left. Anthony Martial, who's come back, started up front, and of course Anthony on the right. So he's actually literally benched Jadon Sancho. I think was probably to show Jadon how poor he was against Man City, the way he was not tracking back. And his movement on the ball is sort of tempered away. His form has been a bit of a stop-start factor, and I think that's the way. This is what we're talking about. Having a squad in every positions where each position is not your own. You're not going to own that position. So that I want to get into some thoughts on the first half from Darren first. Darren, I want to get your thoughts on the first half. Of course, we conceded early on through a Yobi, a beautiful pile driver shot. He picked the spot, top corner, far right, top corner, brilliantly taken. And you know what? How proud was his uncle, JJ Okocha? Remember JJ Okocha? One of the best Nigerian players and one of the best African players that played in the Premier League for Bolton, Sam Allardyce's team. Well, it's his uncle, and he was in the stands, and he was fantastic. He was just going ballistic. He was literally so happy for his nephew with the goal that he scored. Now, getting into it, Darren, I just want your thoughts on what happened, and this is where we were lacking in terms of defending, and this is where something was missing or we allowed it to happen. And I've got some pointers that I will bring to the table as well, but I want to get Darren's thoughts on this. Darren, tell me what you think the game today, the first half.
Yeah, I think what was most pleasing was how we responded after going 1-0 down. I think we've said in the past that when we've gone 1-0 down this season, we've never been able to come back. I think up until like the Europa League game in midweek, we had we've gone 1-0 down, and we've not responded to get to get the win or even get a draw. So I think that was the most unpleasing thing. You don't want this to happen all the time, but it was just good to see in the last two games now that we've been able to come back after a blow in the first 5 minutes, wasn't it? And it was a bit of a sloppy goal to give away. I think looking back now, actually, when I looked at it at first, I thought Casemiro, who obviously did made the bad pass, but I don't think Anthony should have given the ball to him because you could see he had players around him. So I think it was kind of not all Casemiro's fault. But I think after that, I wanted to see how we responded, and honestly, I think it was a very, very professional performance from the team. I think I said before the game this was going to be a very tough game. And Everton away, an evening game. As I said before, they're right on top of you. It's a really hard place to go. Everton also got one of the best defenses in the league, which I didn't actually know up until before the game. Even better than Man City. So it just shows they don't score many goals, but they're normally pretty good at defending. So we had to be on top of it from the first whistle. And we obviously didn't start very well, but it's how we responded. That's what I was really pleased about. You talked about the team selection. I think I was a bit worried when I saw Lindelof and Luke Shaw, just because Lindelof's not played many games and he was a bit shaky as well in the last game. And also Luke Shaw, I just thought when he goes forward, he takes a while to get back, and I thought they would have. People like Gordon and Gray, who are very quick players, would have taken advantage of that. But fair play to Luke Shaw. He did really well in the game. And, the thing about Luke Shaw, I think he actually does better when, I think we saw it last year when Alex Tellers came in and took his place. And he responds well to that. So I think sometimes it's good for Luke Shaw to go out of the team and learn from, whoever's taken his place, and then he'll come back stronger, and he's shown that again. So it's good to have two good left backs, that can challenge each other, and I think that's only good for the team, And yeah, I think Lindelof also did really well next to Martinez. Martinez again, I love this guy. He is just a warrior. Honestly, every time I watch him, I just like he reminds me of Vidic. We've said this before.
You said it before, yeah.
Yeah, he's just an absolute beast. And Varane came on, that was good. I think he got it right. I think we would have loved to see Varane play, but this is probably not the game to bring him back. But slowly, we know he's had injuries in the past, so I think it's better to like slowly build him, put him back into the team.
Yeah,
it's good to see him back. And the bit of worry was Deleuze. Deleuze had a bit of a shaky game, right back. He's had a good season, so hopefully it's just a one bad game, and hopefully he'll be back. Because that's the only worry I do have in that back line is there's no one to replace Deleuze. Wan-Bissaka is injured at the moment, and his confidence will probably be really low anyway at the moment. So I think that's the only worry. Hopefully Deleuze is just a bad game and he'll be back next week. But Casemiro, I think it was great to see him play in his first game. I think he grew into the game. He had a bit of a shaky start, but after 10, 15 minutes, he was just he dominated that midfield. I think we still there's more to see from him, but I think he showed that he's going to be a very good player for us, and I think he'll we know his experience, we know how many trophies he's won in the past, and I think he's going to be a very top player for us. And just overall, just a very professional performance from everyone. I think Anthony again, 3-3 now for him. He's very clinical. He got his goals, and it's a very pleased. At the end it was a bit nervy. I couldn't really watch it. But we're probably going to talk about this hopefully later, maybe later on in the show. But VAR, like Rashford, I honestly I think it's good we got the win, but I'm still a bit annoyed with that goal because for one, Rashford deserved the goal. I think he played really well, and it would have given him confidence. I think that would have been his fourth goal, maybe. I got the fourth or fifth goal, So it was just and I really thought they were going to score at the end, and that would have would have been very unfair on Rashford and the whole team. And we'll talk about that later on, but
we're talking. Actually, Darren, I wanted to bring up one key factor with that, which was quite disappointing. It was good to see Anthony Martial back in the starting lineup. He scored 2 goals. I think he scored one against Man City last week. He won the penalty and he scored the penalty, well taken penalty. He also scored midweek in Cyprus as well. and obviously, we all know how great Anthony Martial is, but one thing that really beats me is the fact that he's becoming a little bit injury prone, and if you notice when he was playing, he could have scored 2 goals before he went off injured. He was fantastic. As you correctly pointed out, Everton had one of the best defenses in the league, and the fact that we breached that defense, which is fantastic. But again, we could have got more goals from what Anthony Martial was doing, and also from various decision making from the front line as well. Now, before I get into that decision making from the front line, what I wanted to touch on was one of the biggest factors and one of the biggest problems we are facing at this point, which Ten Hag needs to address really, really quickly, is our defensive flaws. Like today, Delors had an absolute shocker of a game. He was out-muscled, outplayed most of the time going back. He was wayward passing, loose passing. I don't know where his headspace were. What was he trying to do? Whether or not that he's been overplayed, because as you correctly pointed out again, we don't have a replacement right back, and that's the reason Delors has been playing a whole lot of games and have not had a rest. Now, another player that I think deserves a rest is Christian Eriksen. As the game grew on, you didn't see the actual Eriksen sort of click in those passing movements or those hammering balls into the box. I think we should have rested him in midweek. We should have played Fred up there and also then brought Ericsson back into the Everton game. And then when we go back into when we go into Moldova this week, coming week, we're going to Moldova, isn't it?
No, we're home.
No. Sorry,
Yeah,
we're home with the same team.
Yeah, same team.
Sorry,
yeah, I'll be there.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. That's you're gonna be there. That's right. We're gonna be home with the same team, which we need to get that 3 points. I would then rest Christian Eriksen and play Fred again, because we got a big game against Newcastle, and Newcastle, after 5-1 thrashing, hammering of the bees, that was Brentford. That literally shows us that, guys, we've got to be careful of Newcastle, and we need our best team against Newcastle. Not the fact that we are going to underestimate the team that's coming to Old Trafford this midweek, which Darren's going to be there for the game. The biggest factor to that is we need to change around and give some of the other players key roles to play. We can probably, now that we've lost, hopefully Martial's not bad. There was no news about him. Let me just quickly check this, because I was seeing something come out about Martial's injury. But apparently that's pretty. So Anthony Martial has sustained his third injury of the season. Now, Manchester will assess Anthony Martial today after he sustained a third injury as many months. Okay, let's see. So apparently they can't tell how serious the injury is. They've got to wait about 24 hours to actually give a verdict. Now, he sustained, of course, Martial sustained a hamstring injury with the 1-0 friendly defeat against Atletico on July 20th. And then he returned for the second half against Liverpool on August 22nd and trained later that week, but was out again for more than 5 weeks with an Achilles injury. So we don't know whether Anthony Martial has strained his Achilles or was it a hamstring. But he didn't look.
I think it was a new. I think it was actually his hip. He was holding it when he came off. He was holding his hip. So I think it's a new injury. I don't think it's nothing to do with what he had in the past. Yeah. So I think I'm sure we'll find. I think we'll probably find out when he does his press conference on Wednesday.
That's right.
He'll definitely, so I think we getting fit for Newcastle. I think we can probably don't play him against on Thursday, but if we can get him fit for Newcastle, I think that'd be really good.
Yeah, correct. So that's where my biggest concern is, because I would really like to see what's his name, Anthony Martial, back in the starting 11, and we know what the kind of player he is. Yeah. He's got a great link-up play with Marcus Rashford, so that would have been fantastic. Now, going back to the fact of Diego Dalot, who's had a shocker of a game, I think one thing that I think what's his name, Erik ten Hag has got to address is keeping it tighter at the back. And not allowing stupid flowing goals like that to move. One of the things that we've not done successfully yet is having that long balls delivery. We need to play shorter passes, pick the ball up. Shorter passes makes it better rather than trying to make those long passes and other teams are tending to intercept, as you would have seen in against Everton today. Now, the fact is that we went 1 goal down, as you correctly pointed out again, Darren, that we used to have a lot of issues when we go a goal down. But this game, it showed a lot of grit. It showed a lot of belief, and what a goal, what a pass, and what a goal by Anthony, who's really enjoying his times. He's showing us how the samba is danced You know, the movement on the ball. I tell you, you're going to be seeing it live on Friday anyway. Well, Thursday night for you, Friday for us in Australia. But you're
Yeah.
going to be. But please give us a shout out, yeah. If
Yeah.
the camera pans to you, say, please subscribe, Red Devil Addicts, yeah.
I'll get
Shout.
signed.
Actually, take that sign there. Take that sign there. Put there. Please subscribe, Red Devil Addicts, and put all our
Yeah.
faces there. You know, and put all
Yeah.
our faces. So you never know.
I'll,
When the TV sees us, and everyone will see us as well.
yeah. Hopefully.
You know. Yeah. Yeah. So but the fact is, he's done fantastic. But I think one of the things that I think he needs to be better at is to help out his um, um, right back, the wing back, which is Diego Dallo, and that's the same thing that we need on the left. I think that's a key fundamental. While it's great moving forward and trying to move the ball quicker in the forward run, but when the other team is attacking, it's very important for them to come back to help out the wing backs. That is helping you when you go
Yeah.
forward. It's also got to be reciprocate the same fundamental back when you're being attacked. So I
Yeah.
think that's something that Eric Ten Hag's got to fix very importantly and very quickly. He's got to do it, because if not, we're going to be keep leaking goals, and that could be a point of us losing either 2 points, or drawing a game, or losing it completely.
Yeah.
And from win. So I think that's really, really important, as
Yeah.
we saw in today's game. Yeah.
Yeah, I think especially against Newcastle next week, especially that game, because their two wingers, Saint Maximin, and I can't think what who the other one is now. They go, who's the other winger for Newcastle? Amaron.
Yep.
They're
Yep.
two really good wingers, and we need to make sure that Delo and Shaw, or whoever plays left back, are not, they get support from Anthony and Rashford, because them two are really good players for Newcastle. So that's, especially in that game next week, we need to make sure we Anthony and Rashford help out in defence. So I completely agree with that. I think they need to, they're doing good going forward, but they just need to do a bit more going back and help out our fullbacks.
Yep. What I wanted to also get into was which we talked about earlier anyway, about Marcus Rashford's goal disallowed. Now, it just beats me, because that was a clear shot on goal. It was an accidental. He didn't use his hand to move the ball. It was purely accidental. It was ball to hand, and it wasn't by much. And the fact is, I've seen that given. Like you were mentioning earlier, the West Ham game, they had 2 balls that literally touched the end, and it was allowed to stand. This is my problem with the inconsistency of VAR. And somebody's got to rectify this, because this is causing a lot more chaos for teams. You see, if that goal didn't stand and Everton had gotten an equalizer, that killed our hopes of actually winning that game and collecting all 3 points, because of some imbecile's stupid eyesight or stupid decision to disallow that goal. I want to get your thoughts on that, Darren.
Yeah, so I think, looking at the rules, right? The rules do say, right, if you handball it and it leads to a goal, it should be cancelled. Which, okay, I think that rule's just stupid. I don't get that rule. I don't like that rule at all. But the problem I really have is, if one game, like I said, the West Ham game, the Sackley thing, the thing that happened in the West Ham game happened in the Man U game. But one goal is given and one goal is not given. So, there's got to be some kind of, how can one goal be given and one not, when it's like basically exactly the same thing that's happened. And they're talking about the second phase. In the West, they were saying actually on Match of the Day when I was watching it last night, they were saying because it's the second phase, they didn't score after, it took them 2 attempts. But for me, I think, I just don't get that rule. I think if it's accidental, I just don't think it should be given. You see Rashford, he didn't even know where the ball was. It just he hits his arm, but it's not. He hasn't done it on purpose. It hasn't, made him. He was going to score anyway. It wasn't like he's like Henri in the past against Ireland. You probably remember that goal. you know, back in the World Cup qualifier all them years ago. And, you know, that's, you can see on that day, he handballed it to help him score the goal. But Rashford's not done that. He's just, you know, didn't even know where the ball was. And it's just very frustrating when you were seeing this. And like yesterday, it was okay in the end because we got the win. But there's going to be times during this season, not just for us, you know, for every team in the league, that, you know, they're not going to have given their, you know, it's not going to go their way, and they're going to end up, you know, losing points because of this. And I just think, yeah, VAR, I do like it being there, but they've just got to use it right. And you can't, you know, they need to get like, you can't just give one goal and not give the other on the same day as well. Like literally, like the West Ham game was played like what 3-4 hours before, and they've given that and they're not giving this one. It's very frustrating. It really annoys me. Just like every time I've seen it yesterday again a few times, and I just don't know what they could do now. What they got to do something.
But Darren, what I don't understand is if there was a clear disagreement on that factor, or if they were looking at it and they just made a decision really quickly. Oh, it's a handball. Let's just allow it. But they should have at least. This is when most of the time when VAR gets it, when they're unsure of it, unsure of their decision, they would ask the referee to go and have a look at the monitor, and let him make that decision and let him make that call.
Yeah.
As you correctly said, 3 hours ago, 2 goals were allowed by VAR. So there must be something that's not happening within the VAR governance, and telling them what's exactly clear and obvious foul, or a clear and obvious handball, or it is that's maybe, you know, it's hand to ball. It's ball to hand, not hand to ball. Ball to hand. He wasn't playing it to try and maneuver the ball. He was fixated on the goal, right? It's a contact sport. Ball is going to bounce. You're going to get ricocheted off another player. If he had moved, if you look at my arms, if I've moved my arms like that, that's moving. That's the ball I'm guiding the ball. Yeah. But if my hands is up like that, and the ball touches me and bounces in front of me, how is that wrong? How is that guiding the ball? That's going to touch. So if I was this height and I just moved a little bit like that, it would touch my shoulder. What are you going to say then? It's still the part. I didn't maneuver the ball using my arms to maneuver or control the ball to give me a clear opportunity to shoot. That is where I am disgusted with that particular thing, because that literally, you took that goal away from Marcus Rashford, who is on form. He scored 2 goals midweek last week, and that ball should have been given to him. And he put in a really good performances today, and it was just literally, that was shattering for him. And that could have been, as us fans, could have meant that United lose the game or draw the game with that sort of mistake. We cannot afford those things. There's somebody's got to, now that you're there, Darren, in the UK, I think you've got to champion this. You've got to go out there and put a big sign up there. VAR, get your shit together. Yeah. Thank you very much from the Red Devil Addicts.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. Yeah, there's a lot of people here, like I've spoken to, and like a lot of them actually liked it at the start. They thought it was a good idea for the game, but right now it's just they're making way too many mistakes. You know, for me, like they brought it in to stop these mistakes happening, but for me, there's actually more mistakes happening now because of VAR, because no one really knows like what the rules are, and it's just like you can see like Rashford, I think, made a post after the game on Instagram, and he's just said like, you know, great win, but bemused by the decision. And he was laughing, wasn't he? He was saying that he couldn't actually believe it.
Yeah.
It's just like no one really knows like what the rule. I don't even the referees know what the rules are. They've just been told, you know, what to what should we give in, and they just
Yeah.
gone with it. But I just think it's ridiculous. And so the thing is with VAR, they're not going to take it out now. They put so much effort to put it into the game. So we can all say, "I'll get rid of it," but that's not going to happen. That's just it's not going to happen. But we just need to make sure we do something, because this is going to cost teams relegation, championships, top four, and we got lucky yesterday. But I think even already this season it's happened a few times where teams have lost points because of this. And I won against Real Sociedad in the Champions League in that first game, where it was never a handball, but we give it, and that obviously cost us 3 points. And hopefully that's not going to cost us in the long term, because we should get out of the group anyway. But still, it's just one of those things that's we need to do something about it, and hopefully they can.
So we've got 6 points now from 3 games, isn't it? We've got 6 points, so hopefully we can make that 9 and 12 in a week's time, and then I want us to go to Real Sociedad and beat them. Are we playing at home?
Real Sociedad.
Yeah.
No, well, we're away. We lost at home.
Oh, yeah, we lost at home to them. That's right.
Yeah.
So we are away.
Yeah, and also because if you come second as well, you have to play an extra game, and that's against a team that drops from the Champions League. So it's we have to probably go to Real Sociedad, because they're probably going to win their games as well.
Did they win today?
In the Europa League?
Yeah.
Yeah, they won their last game 2-0, so they're still top.
But they've got 9 points.
Yeah, and because of the goal difference as well. So we have to probably go over there and probably score at least 2-0, maybe even more, depends what happens in the next few next couple of games. So I think it's really important that we finish top, because we want to try and get an easier game in the next round. And a team from the Champions League, whoever that's going to be, is going to be it's going to be tough. So hopefully we can I think in midweek it's going to be interesting what team he plays, because as you said, we've got I think the Newcastle game's a really big game.
Correct.
And I think really we should, whoever we play against the Cyprus team, we should win. I know last week it was a 3-2, but for me, I think if we turn up, we should beat them quite comfortably, really.
Yeah.
So it'll be. I think he's gonna have to make changes. I think you mentioned Ericsson. I think he needs a rest. Even today, I know we haven't got no one to replace him, but possibly even play Lindelof. With a round back now, we could maybe put Lindelof at right back just to give the lower rest. So maybe that could be something he might do.
And I wouldn't play around the whole game. I would probably give him about 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Just to get his match fitness up, because with one eye on the Newcastle game, I would play. And you're right, I might play Victor Lindelof on at right back, and play Varane at centre back. Or I think Malaysia can play on both sides, isn't it? Did they say that he's 2-footed?
He could play right back as well, so that could be an option. And
that could be an option as well.
Yeah, so and then maybe put one of these youngsters on the bench, so we can get like a 3-4-0 in the second half. Then maybe bring one of the youngsters
and then
on.
Start bringing them off and keep them fresh for
you start off with a solid team. I think. I know we don't want Fred back Tomini, but I think for this game, I actually wouldn't mind them two playing in the game, and then to give Ericsson a rest. I think Fernandez will probably. I'm not sure if Van der Beek's fit. Maybe he will play, but I think he's still injured. I'm not sure how. And then I think Sancho and Lange will probably play as well, because they didn't play him.
Correct. And I was looking at this. There was a tweet by. Did you see that tweet by Usain Bolt? He said, what did he say? I'm just looking for that tweet now. He said, how is that a handball? And all the fans sort of went up there and supported what he was saying. It was just literally he was actually referring to Um, you know, the same thing. What hours after West Ham striker Gianluca Sciamata,
Yeah,
with the handball that he had in the West Ham game. So,
yeah.
uh,
You actually,
you
I
know,
know you haven't seen it yet, but when he actually scored Shamaka, he actually stopped as well because he knew he
yeah,
had ruled it, and he actually
yeah,
stopped. And I agree, thought he was going to get disallowed, and then
yeah,
he was actually really surprised when it got given.
yeah, yeah. Look, I'm actually watching the actual clip now. I'm actually watching the clip. He actually moved his arm
Yeah,
onto the ball. He moved his arm onto the ball. You could
yeah,
see that on the chest. And that ball was given. I cannot understand Marcus Rashford's.
yeah,
And if you look at the way Marcus Rashford, his arms were literally at his side, right?
yeah,
And a complete accidental
yeah,
ricochet off Tarkovsky's challenge. And I'll tell you, just watching it over and over again, it was just ridiculous. And
yeah.
it was the one that actually moved his hand towards the ball was actually Michael Antonio.
Yeah. That was
It,
more blatant, and that was the one that was
blatant,
given. Yeah,
correct.
yeah,
Um, and fans was actually saying, and even Gary Lineker tweeted to blame a silly new law. That was what he was saying, Gary Lineker. Um, I think this is where um, the, the the governance, which Darren, I think you need to champion this cause now that you're our big sports editors back in the homeland of football. Try and stir some feathers there, mate. You need to go up there and stir some feathers because look, the next round in January when the transfer window opened, we're sending you to Germany. Where Red Devil Addicts is going to send you to Germany. You're going to go to Team Viewer, and you're going to go and see those our very good friends, the IT guys, and ask them. Can we talk to your CEO? I want to know what the hell you guys doing, huh? You
yeah,
guys supposed to be pushing the club to sell their ownership so that some other people can come in and buy the club and probably restructure a whole lot of work that needs to be done at Old Trafford as well.
yeah.
You're going into the game. You hopefully it's not raining and it's not going to be making you wet. Uh, Sitting under those covers that's probably leaking, as what Sharon was said the other day. It's
Yeah, I think it said it's going to be raining on Thursday as well. So yeah, I'm ready to get wet, and then
I'll tell you, Darren, you're going to be wet. But you know what, Darren?
it'll be worth
Two
it.
things, and two things I need you to do, right? I want you to get there as early as possible because you're going to be able to get get a glimpse of the players, yeah, because they're playing at Old Trafford. So you know how we used to stand at the barricade here at the W Hotel. I need
Yeah,
you to go do that and take a video and send it to us, or we'll go live when you're doing that.
yeah,
We'll actually go live when you're actually doing that and wait for the players to come. And as the players walk in and drive in, can you imagine us capturing that moment of the players? Oh, that's absolutely brilliant. So, Darren,
yeah,
being our sports editor, now that you're in the home of football in
yeah,
London, it's in England, you're going to be in Manchester on Thursday night. I think we should do that. We should do we should just make sure that you're there, and you're going to be probably getting a comment from Cristiano Ronaldo. Just say
yes,
that the Red Devil Addicts, Joel, would be very happy to have him on the show, and also my favorite player, Mr. Rafael Varane. You know why he's my favorite player as well. Eh? Yeah, you remember that? Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
No, no.
yeah, that's it. And so try and get a glimpse of them. And I would really like to do a show with you then, and just sort of looking at the atmosphere there and talking to some fans. It'll be really good for the show as well. And it'll be good. And I'm going to be wanting you to hold up a play card and say, please sign up to or follow us on Red Devil Addicts Instagram. 75,000 fans in the stadium. You never know if they all come and tune up. We can do live every other day. And
Maybe, who knows? I'll make. Maybe I'll get an announcement at half time.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
I'll get the elf.
Um,
Yeah. But,
yeah. Oh man.
but I'm gonna. I'm hopefully. I got. You probably see my Ronaldo shirt behind me. So
Yep.
I'm gonna be taking that with me on next week, and hopefully I can get Ronaldo to sign it, because that'll be amazing. And well, we didn't see Ronaldo in Australia, so also Martinez, Casemiro. So
Yep.
I'll be taking my shirt that I got signed, and hopefully I'll be getting a few more signatures. And
I am. You know what? I am going to try and get you, transfer you some money, to get me a Ronaldo shine jersey for the Newcastle game. I'm going to try and do that. I don't know whether I can get it to you in time. I don't know how the bloody transfers work from here to the UK. I just want to be able to transfer you some money so that you can go and get a Ronaldo jersey for me and get him to sign it, and also take a picture, a nice picture, so I can put my picture on there as well, and then go and frame it up.
pretend you was there.
Yeah, that's it.
Just talking about Ronaldo, I think we have to obviously mention yesterday, 700 goals, incredible. I think a lot of people have been criticising him this season, but he's obviously not going to be happy. He's never been in this position before, not playing, and I think he just proved yesterday, when he plays, he'll score goals. He's been showing that for the whole season. People can criticise him for things which maybe are correct or whatever, but one thing you can't criticize him for is his work rate. It's like his training. How much he puts into his training to be where he is now, and he's worked to be. He deserves whatever he gets, because he's put in, like, since he's a young kid, he's put in so much effort to be one of the best players, or the GOAT that we like to call him. And for me, we're not going to see a player like this now in our lifetime. 700 goals is remarkable.
Absolutely. That's absolutely brilliant. And I don't know whether you noticed this yesterday, as I was watching it at home. The commentator that was commentating, I wasn't sure, was it Peter Drury or Andrew Townsend, that mentioned, I think it was a halftime show, where we had Michael Owen and Owen Hargreaves in the studios, and they were doing the playbacks. When Casemiro wins the ball back, you can see it in slow motion.
Yeah.
The speed that Cristiano has picked up and kept going.
Yeah.
And Tarkowski, that was coming across, couldn't even catch up with him. This is a player that's 37 years old that people have criticized so much. Just took that ball and he buried it to claim his 700 goal. One of the things that I have that Cristiano needs, and this is where you can tell him when you get your jersey signed, just say, Joel from the Red Devil Addicts has got some advice for you. You're the best player in the world. You will always be the GOAT. You will always be the best player. All you need to do, don't worry. Don't try too hard, because the goals will come for you. Because sometimes I feel that he over tries certain things, and he misses opportunities, and he also misses opportunities for the teammate. Like Bruno could have buried that header if Ronaldo didn't go for that ball. You remember that was one cross that came in.
Yeah.
Bruno had a better shot of taking that on, going across Jordan Pickford, but because Cristiano went for the ball, that it literally took the goal scoring opportunity away. Now, I know he wants to score in every ball that he touches, but I think now Cristiano's sort of needs to revitalize or reinvent his game, not only from a scoring perspective, but from an assist perspective, because if he can draw people away, that will allow your teammates to go in and get those goals.
Yeah.
Allow them to go in for the goals, because you can see everyone was trying to pass him the ball because everyone wanted him to get the 700 goal. And how good was that new celebration? Like this?
Yeah.
And Anthony, Let's do it, Darren. Let's do it. Let's recreate this. Let's recreate this for Cristiano Ronaldo. I'll tell you, how good was that?
I don't know what
How
it was about. I actually want to know the story.
I really want to know the story.
Yeah.
I mean, how
I'll ask
I
him.
interpreted that was, I have done it. I
Yeah.
have done it.
Yeah.
You know,
It's been
700.
so long as well. Like,
Yeah,
been waiting
yeah,
for so long now for that goal because he's only scored one goal this season.
yes.
So he's been wanting that. You can see it in midweek. He really wanted it, and even his teammates really wanted it. And you see like all the whole team how happy they were when he got the goal yesterday.
Oh,
You know,
yes.
they all came
Every,
over
yeah.
and they were so happy. And he serves it, as I said, like he's like the best player I've seen play for Manchester United in my lifetime. And it's going to be a privilege to see him again because obviously when in Australia, I thought that was it. I thought he wasn't going to see Ronaldo
Never gonna say him, yeah.
again. But no, so next week, hopefully he'll play as well. I think he'll definitely play in the Europa League game. It depends on Martial, I think, if he plays against Newcastle. But he'll be in the squad. So just to see him, even just for 5 minutes live, would just be amazing.
You are gonna see him. You're gonna whisper to him. You're gonna tell him to watch Red Devil Addicts. You're gonna tell him to subscribe as well, and you're gonna tell him that he has to come on board one show with us. Can you imagine if he comes on the show with us? Tell him how much we all love him, how much we would fall at his feet. That's me. I'm telling you, I'm just crazy. Cristiano Ronaldo, I'm just crazy.
Yeah.
So Darren, I'm gonna try and find a way to get you that money for you to buy that jersey, the Cristiano Ronaldo jersey, right? And I'll tell you, I want you to go get it to him and tell him it's for a special person up in Melbourne, and you're gonna get it signed and post it to me because I want to go and frame that jersey, get a picture of him signing the jersey, and send it to me. I tell you, because that would make me, that would make my son so happy as well. Well, I've bought him a Cristiano Ronaldo signed jersey. It's authenticated. It's coming from the UK. I've paid $1,500 for it. So my wife's killing me for it. But hey, it's for me. It's for my son.
Yeah.
So I want to get another one signed by him, by my very famous and my very good friend, Mr. Darren. I would, that would be a great story to tell my son, especially when we come up, especially when we come up there to see and meet you for the birthday next year. I tell you, it's going to be great. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. We're going to have a great time. We're going to do a lot of cool shit. We're going to do a lot of cool stuff. But you know what? I just loved seeing Cristiano achieve more and more every day or every game. It pains me to feel that he's sitting on the bench, because to me he's still the GOAT, and he's very close to my heart, even though he scored 450 goals for Real Madrid, but it is Manchester is where he started his career.
Yeah,
we made him the player.
We made him the player he is today.
Correct.
He is
today. Yeah, and to see him back in United jersey, it's still that's still passion. Passion.
Yeah.
But one more thing before I make that big announcement, and before we sign off, Darren, if you notice in the media recently, there were talks about some Carrington bust-ups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, Ten Hag came out and addressed that, and he said he wants more of that, especially after the Man City game.
Yeah.
He wants more of that because that shows the character of the players and how much they care for what they want to do on the pitch. Now, I think that sort of showed a little bit more today, especially in the first half, going a goal down, that literally woke them up and they started to make a lot of things tick. But I need that. What I want to see a lot more, Darren, is for that sort of factor to be applied in the second half as well. Because I think in the second half, as the game grew and grew and grew,
Yeah.
we started to just take our foot off the gas. We started wayward passing. We sort of we've lost our game plan, and
Yeah.
that's very 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 saddening, and that's very very upsetting. I think that's something we need to hopefully address. And again, that's a message you need to pass Ten Hag. When you see him on Saturday.
Yeah. I think it's the building process at the moment. We're going through a stage where we're gonna have good games. I said this the other day. We're gonna have good games. We're gonna have bad games, and it's just we need to maybe, and this will improve. I think during the season we'll get better, and hopefully by the end of the season these mistakes will have gone out of the game, and we'll be a much better unit. I think I think you said having players like Martinez and Ericsson and Casemiro and Varane as well. I think them four, they've got character. Them four, I think definitely have brought a lot to this team.
Yep.
And I think if they could just give that to the other players, then it can be a decent season. I think we're going to have games where we're going to be frustrated. We could lose or not win, but I just want to see what I want to see now is just the passion from the players, and even when we go a goal behind, see how they respond, and win game. It would be nice to actually go and win a game 4-5-0 because it's just something that hasn't happened for a while. So hopefully we can do that as well. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully we can get a good win now next week, and try and get in that get top 4, win a trophy. I think that's got to be the aim.
Yep.
And then go from there next season.
That's it. That's what we want. Anyway, as we all said, we want United to be winning all those games before we kick off to the World Cup. And we want to see them stronger at the top of the Premier League, and closer to Man City. And of course, winning the group against Europa, that will set us up really nicely going into the World Cup break. Now, talking about World Cup, my announcement has got something to do about the World Cup. And the first question I'm going to ask my good friend, my good buddy here, Mr. Darren, are you going for the World Cup?
No.
He's not following his English mates to Qatar. Well, anyway, I've just during my time in Malaysia, as I said, I went to visit my grandma and also do a little bit of work for my project that I'm actually with. But I also did some scouting to make the Red Devil Addicts channel a little bit more better, a little bit more flavor, and to give it a big boost. And so the big announcement is I've tied up with a local new online media portal to actually do a talk show for the World Cup. And well, we are gonna sell ourselves to the industry to showcase this is what we can do. This is what, because we love this game, as Patrice Evra says, we love this game. We are going to be talking to a couple of guys in Malaysia. We'll probably get some guests on the show as well. So Darren, you and me are going to lead this World Cup project together with Mervin, Jorgen, of course, Alex. So Alex will have to learn all the English songs, all the French songs, all the Dutch songs, all of that he's got to learn because he's our official singer. We're going to have a meeting next week probably to go over some of the nitty-gritty things and how we can make the quality of the channel a little bit better for the World Cup. So the Red Devil Addicts, together with the Vibes in Malaysia, is going to bring you World Cup coverage, World Cup decisions, and we're going to be in our favorite teams' jerseys. So I've got the Brazilian and I've got the Portuguese jersey with me. which I am going to wear during the shows of the World Cup. And most of our Manchester United boys are made of Brazilian and Portuguese at the moment. So I've got the best two colours there. And Darren, you can wear your English jersey. You got Captain Maguire there.
He could actually be the only one in there, couldn't he, as well? Depending on if Rashford and Sancho don't make it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. That's it. So that's the big announcement. The Red Devil Addicts channel is going to go to the next level, and I did this deal purely. I mean, of course, we would like to get paid for it, but we're still new. So what we're going to do is we're going to sell ourselves to the world and to the market and show them how good a content that we can produce or we can have that will then create a good commercial factor for us as we move along, and that would help us to follow the teams on a regular basis, where when they go out on tour, and follow the teams when they actually go and play Champions League nights or Europa League nights, midweek matches, whenever we can. That will give us a better standing in moving the direction that we want to move. So that's why, guys, I need you guys' support on this, because we're going to have to do it together. We are called the Australian Bunch, of course, and of course we've got Darren and Charan, who's in the UK. So we've got to get Charan onto this. So I'll leave that announcement to you. Probably put it in our chat group and say Joel's big announcement. Watch the show. Wait until it gets uploaded, and you guys can watch the show and then find out what the announcement is. But since you're here with me, Darren, you're the first person to know. We will be having a meeting with one of the sports journalists in Malaysia. He's a big Liverpool fan, but yeah. We are going to put clubs aside for the World Cup. We're gonna do talking about football, the game that we love, and we're gonna give this a great show. So I'll let you know, Darren. I want to rope you into that discussion as well, and we're gonna get some really good guests onto the show as well, from Malaysia as well. And you know, and have our chats and talk football, talk everything about football, you know. But we're going to give it a real good twist. People are going to go into the Red Devil Addicts, is going to see the World Cup edition, and I think they're going to love it. And I hope with that we're going to promote it really, really strongly, and build our following. Because I'm telling you, after my project is done, I'm going full throttle, and I'm going to promote the Red Devils, and we're going to take it to the top. Because I want Darren, who's our sports editor, to bring in the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo onto the show, bring in Bruno Fernandes onto the show, Rafael Varane onto the show. Man, you and Sharon are the only two boys can do it, man, because you guys are there, thick of the action. So,
Yeah.
man, I don't know how big a news this is to you, but this is big for the Red Devil Addicts channel. That's the big, you know. We're going to tie up with a media company there, and we're going to do the World Cup all throughout the whole of November until the finals, and it's going to be absolutely brilliant. We're going to try and get a few more people into the show. We're going to get a few more people coming on. We're going to try and get some ladies to join us as well, get their thoughts on it, because World Cup, everyone, grandfathers, grandmothers, husbands, wives, girlfriends, little kids, everyone's going to be talking football for that year. And don't forget, where we are in Australia is part of the World Cup. They're going to be, they I would call them in the same, well, I wouldn't call it the group of death, but I would call it they're in one of the toughest groups that they were in the last World Cup as well, and they pretty much got the same two opponents, which is uh, France and Denmark. Well, we will see our two boys, well, three boys if Martial goes as well, Rafael Varane and Anthony Martial, together with Christian Eriksen from Denmark, play Australia. So it'll be quite good here because we're probably going to go out to when those games are played. Probably go and do a show from where the crowd is going to be, and especially when England plays, you and Sharon can actually go to where the boys are going to be. Do a quick show from there. We want to keep it interactive. We're going to keep it interactive and great. It'll be great, Darren, because we want to take you off working for people. We want you to work for the Red Devil Addicts channel, where it's our own. We'll make it happen, and we get paid doing the things that we love. That's talking Manchester United and talking football. That's it. That's what we want. That's what we want.
No,
I'll be able to fly in, fly out every now and then, like a bus ride, to come visit you and there. With that's definitely possible.
You're like one of the owners, but not the Manchester United owner. He just stays in one place, but you never see him.
Yeah, you'll never see him. But you know what? You never know. We could just be the new flavors that might just have enough money that we can probably reach in a dream and buy the cup from the Glazers and tell them to bloody piss off. Red Devil Addicts is going to own Manchester United.
Wow, that's a dream. That's a dream.
That's a big dream. That's a big dream. There, I've said it. That's the big news that I wanted to bring to you guys because it's exciting to me. It's exciting to have that tie up with the Vibes, and I'm going to announce it on our Instagram page, where I'm going to make that announcement very, very soon, sometime this week. So that watch that. That'll be great, so that people will know that we're going to be rocking and rolling with this. Yeah, fantastic.
Amazing.
Anyway, yep, we lost Mr. Alex Tellez here. He didn't get to sing for us today. We'll tell him that he's on the next show. He has to sing for us before he runs away to work. Yeah. we kind of miss him, so he's got to learn. We've got to show him the news because he's got to learn all the French songs, the Dutch songs, and all of those songs. Yeah. Because when come the World Cup, we need him.
Yeah, he's our singer for the channel.
Our singer,
we
Red
need
Devils
him.
singer. That's it. Yeah. He's our Red Devils singer. That's Alex. That's our Alex Tellez. Anyway, guys, great chatting with you again, Darren. It was fantastic. Great to be back. We got now a longer shows. We've done some really small, short, little ones over the last couple of weeks. As I said, I was in a project, and I just didn't have the time to put everything together. But that's all going to be sorted out within a week. And then get prepared for the World Cup as well. There's still a lot more content that we're going to be building for Manchester United before we go on break for the World Cup, and we'll bring you all the best news. As we said, we're hoping, please, as I reach out to everyone out there, please subscribe to the Red Devil Addicts channel, YouTube channel, and follow us on Instagram. Give us your thoughts, leave a comment, and tell us if you want to be on the show. Let us know. Give us your contact details. We're happy to invite you into our WhatsApp chat. We've got a WhatsApp chat going, and we also have the group that talks football, talks Manchester United every now and then, and we want to grow it further and further. So we would like you to come and tell us, how can we buy Manchester United? That's the first thing you guys need to do, is subscribe to us. And all of those subscriptions will then suddenly turn into commercial value, and we'll end up buying Manchester United. And you'll see Darren will sleep nicely tonight. He's going to go to bed and he's going to dream it. And we're going to make his dream come true. Yeah. Anyway, guys, this is Joel signing out from the Red Devil Addicts studio back in Melbourne here. Good old Melbourne. Cold. Well, it's getting a bit sunny, but still cold. But we just love Manchester United, so it doesn't matter whether it's cold, hot, or sunny, or raining. We're still going to talk to you about Manchester United. And you got my man, Mr. Darren, who is in Cornwall with the Duchess, and we will be seeing him on, well, in England Thursday night, Friday morning for us, and he's going to be talking to Cristiano Ronaldo, hopefully. He's probably even going to get him to sign a jersey and tell him that the Red Devil Addicts channel would like to say hello and please come on board. And he's going to do some videos for us. So, Darren, we're holding on to you, that man, our sports editor. You're going to give us some great content. Pull Charan to it and tell Charan, smack him and say, Charan, we need some content from the other side. So he can take a couple of players from that side and you can take a couple of players on this side and we'll make it even better. All right. We'll speak soon, bro. We'll see you on, Friday morning for us here, early morning. Thursday night for you. Hopefully we'll get some really good footage from the stadium, from Old Trafford, and we'll do a great show.
Yeah, cheers. Cool. Have a good one.
Thank you. Cheers, Darren. Cheers. Bye-bye.